Welcome to Box Box Guys! Woo! We are thrilled to be back for what is going to be a very fun Spanish Grand Prix show. Now, just to get some things out of the way, you saw our younger sister, Afi. She was on the show yet last week, but today she's not for a very, very, very special reason. She's graduating, and we wanted to quickly just take a moment to give her a massive shout out and congratulate her. We are so, so proud of you, Afi, and all your achievements. And we love having you on the show. So big congratulations to you. But now that we got that out of the way, that we congratulated the brass, let's get on to the show. Let's get on to some news. So a lot of things actually happened between the Spanish Grand Prix and now. Eccleston got arrested. See how you feel about that. And he got arrested for something that I think, honestly, some countries should totally take a look at. Certain countries, sorry.
Boy, aren't you glad you don't live there anymore?
I am more relieved than you know. Also, speaking of a certain country that ye shall not be named, their former first lady has gotten into some tabloid issues with our 7-time world champion from the Miami Grand Prix. It was very silly. You have to check it out. Michelle Obama apparently is having an affair with Lewis Hamilton. And Barack is upset.
What?
This is news. I mean, I would pay good money to read that article.
Me too, actually. And I hate tabloids. I hate them so much. But we have the we have the what's it called? The front page up on our Instagram, Goss F1. It is quite an interesting thing. What else? Speaking of a 7-time world champion, Lewis Hamilton's jewelry ban looks like he's probably going to get an exemption again. I don't see the point in this jewelry ban, to be honest. I mean, why? If you're just going to keep giving him an extension, what's the point? Like,
I don't
enforce
know.
it or not?
I mean, there's things here that both sides don't understand. I mean, one, the jewelry ban wasn't put in there because of Hamilton. It's been there for quite a while. And two, the jewelry ban, jewelry isn't going to harm the driver in any way. Because I saw a tweet from a reporter who interviewed Romain Grosjean about the subject, and apparently he took off his wedding band, and it was the only part that wasn't scarred or burnt.
Oh, you.
And so when you think about it, knight in shining armor, let's go.
Just deck him out. Let's
go. I did say I liked classic Formula One, but not that old.
No, I mean, like, honestly, I think it's just a non-issue, and I think they just, I don't understand it. I mean, if that's the case and it's a racing thing, I mean, I guess it's a racing thing, but like, in that the case, then maybe all of us should not be wearing earrings. I've got like 4 piercings in one ear. Don't know if I can show you.
Yeah, man,
no,
But you could take them off, right?
I think I need the help of taking my conch and my helix one out because it's a new, relatively new-ish piercing. I've had it for about a year. But the other ones I could take out fine.
Because the only reason Hamilton hasn't apparently taken them off yet is because he can't. Like, he'd have to have them surgically removed.
I mean, depends on what piercings he got. I know that this one I would need the help of a piercer. So I'd go into a piercing place and get them surgically removed, not surgically, but get them removed in that way safely. But like, I think like after a certain amount of time, I can take them out myself and replace them with other pieces. But there are piercings that would need assistance of like someone else would need to come in and do it. I don't know surgically, but like there are piercers like that. So like anything that has like indents or things like that, or
either way, the FI has bigger things to worry about.
Oh yes.
Clearly.
Yes, Fernando Alonso actually called out the FIA for how they handled the Miami race overlooking.
And then he got called in. He got called in by the FIA.
Confident in public.
The head of the FIA, and they had a talk. Apparently, it was sincere. So.
It's okay. Sincere. We also got pictures of that on Twitter. Goss F1. Check it out.
You honestly should subscribe to us. Selim, before we move on, you had a piece of news. And now let me be clear. Asay and I don't know what this is. We're very concerned. So
essentially Sports writes about the Mazepin-led association for Russian drivers, for Russian athletes, right? The ones who, anyways. Can't compete because of not who they are, but what they support. But Mazepin makes it seem like who they are. And the article quotes, Mazepin wasn't the only victim when the war broke out between the two countries. This is an article on Essentially Sports, by the way. Mazepin wasn't the only victim when the war broke out between the two countries, as other Russian athletes, too, had to give up on their sporting careers. Whoa, such a worry. Hence, to back such athletes, turn up the Mazepin-led association. Not done. We support artists who can... athletes, not artists. We support athletes who cannot compete due to non-sporting decisions. The foundation has a strong team, groundbreaking ideas, and most importantly, athletes who inspire us to find the best solutions and work hard, he said, according to the Turkish Motorsport, which I think is a news thing. Anyways, furthermore, Mazepin took a cheeky dig at the FIA itself, and the article quotes this. So the FIA won't let me be, it's a quote from Mazepin. So the FIA won't let me be, or let me be me, so let me see. They try to shut me down on F1 TV, but it feels so empty without me.
Oh, fuck him for using Eminem.
Here's the best part. He didn't say this. Mazepin didn't say this. The news...
Who did?
The news website quoted a Twitter user with the handle at out fall Thuser. And he wrote this and he just put quotes around it and then posted a picture of Mazepin. And this news site thought he actually said it.
Oh my gosh. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the state of F1 journalism. This is trash. First of all, do not equate Mazepin to Eminem, who is honestly, in my opinion, probably one of the better rappers of the OOs and things like that. Please don't do that to him.
He's a great rapper.
In fact, Eminem, I think, would be very upset if he heard about this. I'm upset. I'm really angry. Second of all, what the fuck?
The guy just tweets this out as a joke, and the article quotes it as an
Quoted.
Girl, God, friends, it's too early for this. If I did something like this, I would probably get fired.
Where is the journalistic integrity in this sport? For God's sake.
Where's the fact checking?
Where's the fact checking? Oh my gosh. And the funny thing is that this is the second time I've heard of some BS article or things like that I just okay, I'm tired. I thank you so much, Selim, for gracing us with your rapping prowess.
Yes.
That was the only good thing about that whole...
Oh shoot, it got removed. They removed it from the article.
Oh my days. Well,
just 40 minutes ago, by the way. That is
insane.
That was up for a good hour and a half on the article.
Wow.
Well, at least they were quick.
At least they retracted that very quick. Some places do
hilarious.
Not. Oh my word. No. Anyway,
please get us copyright strike.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. I'm not gonna have that happen to us. Anyway, so with that, I think it's time we talked about the Spanish Grand Prix. And we have a very special guest joining us for it. We've nicknamed him the head of the Ghanaian Association of the Tafalsi. I think I got that right. Yeah.
Woo!
I mean, this is a diehard Mercedes. We really appreciate him because in our like F1 group community in Ghana, he is the sole red flag marching in a sea of black or silver or blue and navy and red. So we are very excited to have him on. So please give a big shout out and a big warm welcome to Kofi! Woo! Yeah.
Grazie.
Grazie mille.
Legend.
Grazie.
Absolute legend.
Guys,
welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, Kofi.
Thank you for having me on your show.
Honestly, for like the first year that we did this, we knew that we would definitely want someone like you on our show. So thank you so much for making time to hang out with us. Now, I gotta be honest, I don't know many people, many Ghanaians that are Tafalsi fans. So please, we've got to know your F1 origin story. How did you get into Formula One, and how did you get into the Ferrari fan club?
So it started a long time ago when I was very, very young back then. I used to watch motorsports only on highlights from this show called Gillette World Sports, which they used to show on TV back then. So that's where I was actually waiting for the MotoGP section of the show where the Valentino Rossi will come and do his wheelie, and I was so excited. But then after the MotoGP, they do the Formula One, and there's this guy always in a red car, always winning, and I was like, wow, this is so beautiful. This guy is always winning. Who is he? Oh, he's Michael Schumacher. What's he doing? He's winning a race for Ferrari. And I'm like, okay, I'm joining the winning team. So that's how I became a Formula One and a Ferrari fan. So that's the short side of the story.
I think that's amazing. I mean, like if you think about it, a lot of people also came into the sport in the 2010s, partially because of Lewis Hamilton and him always winning in the Mercedes. So it makes a lot of sense that, like, you know, back in 90s, that you would be rallying around the best driver. I mean, now I will say the Schumacher years are behind us. So how have you been fighting it since then, between now and actually the season? Because Ferrari's, fortunes have kind of turned. But how have you been feeling about Formula One between then?
Well, it's not been easy. I won't lie. It's not been easy at all. But I always believed that the glory days will return to Maranello. I've always believed that. Yeah. It's taken a very, very, very long time. There were glimpses of it in 2017, 2018, even at the start of 2019, but it all didn't come into fruition. But we've always believed. I mean, certain times I just started to hate the Mercedes dominance. So I would support someone who looks like is trying to beat the Mercedes team, and it all didn't go well until last year. I mean, we all joined the Red Bull because I'll only want Lewis to win his 8th if only he's driving in a Ferrari.
Oh, come on!
He's done enough in the Mercedes. Please. Wow. He's done enough in the Mercedes. I mean, so at least just come and win one with us, with Ferrari. And I believe he would have completed Formula One by then. Not saying he hasn't, but that's how I feel.
So no hope in Charles Leclerc then?
Oh, Charles is my boy from day one, you know, but I mean, Lewis can come in. If only he's going to win his 8th, he only has to do it in a Ferrari. But that's when I wouldn't have a problem with him winning the 8th. Because if I'm arguing with my friends and they are doing Lewis. I mean, among my friends, I'm the only Ferrari fan. Almost everyone is a Lewis fan. We all know why. They say he's the greatest. But when we are arguing, you have not, the only thing I have now is to say, oh, he's not the only one who has 7 championships. So when he gets the 8, and what's going to be my argument? So if he wins the 8 in a Ferrari, you can argue he has 8. I'll say, oh, he won it in a Ferrari. That's my reason for wanting Lewis to win his 8 in the Ferrari. So
I gotta be honest with you, I do not ever see Hamilton going over to Ferrari. I feel like that's a pipe dream. Maybe like if he's on his way out, he could be like, okay, well, I've now raced with all the best teams, and well, except for Red Bull, but now race with all the best teams in what's it called, Formula One. So like that would be a cool way to go out, but I think he's going to die.
Wow.
Yesterday he was asked about
his
it.
Formula One career.
Yesterday he was asked about it. He showed a tattoo on his arm which says loyalty or something like that. Yeah, and he says that's what it means. He's been with Mercedes and he's always going to be loyal with Mercedes. So if he wasn't driving, he would be a Ferrari fan and support Charles.
Well, you know what they say about Ferrari. Everyone's a Ferrari fan, even if
you're all Ferrari fans, but especially I know who I say is a Ferrari fan.
Like, it is good to see Ferrari back on top and in fighting shape, because deep down inside, the 2020-2021 was quite sad. It was really sad. In a
you
really
always
funny
have to
way,
bring
but
the bad side of Ferrari up. I mean,
I feel like if Asay wasn't scared of getting disowned by Sadem and Afi, she'd be a Ferrari fan.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
No, I don't. Asay was the first one in our family that, like, amongst the sisters that got into Formula One. So we generally follow her lead. So if I mean, actually, I think we'd be more scared of being disowned by our father, if anything, because he's definitely not a Ferrari fan.
I mean, at the same time, when I first started watching Formula One, it was a Brazil Grand Prix for 2026, and Michael Schumacher was still there. And I was like, and Rubens Barrichello, was Felipe Massa, one of the two. And those Rubens Barrichello and Felipe Massa in Ferrari, they were class. And they still are class. I love them both. So it's like, yeah, I mean, like Ferrari, they're a great outfit. And this current lineup, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, Charles with his greatness and his numerous Armani campaigns, and Carlos Sainz with his consistency and chilliness and his soon-to-be mixtape, which we hope comes out. I like them. I like both of them together. Also, did you guys hear that both Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz actually got to do a cameo for the Buzz Lightyear movie?
Yeah.
In the respective languages.
They have that on their card this weekend.
Time to watch it in Italian.
And Spanish.
Spanish.
To which I do not understand.
To which I do not understand either. You know, I was a Ferrari fan once.
You are still a Ferrari fan.
Yeah. Okay. So I was a Renault fan when I was when I was 1 year old. My parents took me to a Turkish Grand Prix. Anyways, you guys know the story. But then when I sort of started getting, like, when I grew up and sort of when I started watching Formula One again, sort of, and actually understand what it means, Renault wasn't in the sport. And so, you know, I just became a Ferrari fan because I liked the red color and stuff. And then I went to the Indian Grand Prix. I bought a teddy bear, named him Sebastian Vettel because it was a bear. And then Sebastian Vettel joined Ferrari, and then I really became a Ferrari fan.
Yeah.
And so then, you know, following Sebastian Vettel all the way through Ferrari, and then Ferrari fucking him over.
No.
It did.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Please. Yes.
They screwed
No.
him over.
And then I sort of
Royally.
lost hope.
Well,
let me
Love
say
Ferrari,
something
but they
about
did
that.
dirty.
I won't let this go. No.
I love Ferrari, but let's be honest, they did Sebastian Vettel very dirty. Real
No.
dirty.
No.
And
you have 1 minute to explain, Kofi, and then we're moving on.
Okay, 60 seconds. So back in December 2019, he and Charles had a coming together. I think that was when everything started to fall apart in Brazil. And I don't think the team saw a way forward with both of them. For some reason, I don't still quite understand why the announcement didn't come before the start of the season, which apparently was halted during the COVID. So some people kind of feel that they would have made the announcement towards the end of the season, but that didn't happen. And Sebastian has been spinning the car all over. So I mean, it was natural
That car
for him to
was
go.
terrible.
The car was
Even-
not good. The car was not good.
No,
that
in
season.
2019, I'm not talking of 2020. In 2019, even the great Michael Schumacher, Montezemolo, had him leave Ferrari in 2006 after all that he had done for Ferrari. So I don't think Seb was screwed over. So he just had to go and make way for, fresh blood. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Charles
very true.
Charles Leclerc was
Because
Ferrari's.
in Ferrari, no driver is bigger than the team. So
Yeah,
you had to go.
I think
That's true.
Charles Leclerc was Ferrari's star driver. Like he was a part of the Ferrari Young Driver Academy in Formula 2,
Yeah.
and then he joined Sauber in 2018.
18.
Is it 18? Gosh, he's young.
Yeah.
So he joined the Sauber team in 2018. And, ever since then, the reality is when there's a younger driver that's faster than you and you've had your time, teams don't really respect you anymore. I think that's kind of sad.
You
Very
didn't
true.
have to put it that way.
Mm.
it is,
See, but speaking of Ferrari getting screwed over, let's talk about the Spanish Grand Prix.
So I
Why are you like this?
No.
Because we need to segue, and you guys keep talking about glory days, and we need to talk about what happened, and they keep getting screwed over because they both did not do well. Anyway,
Before we do that, I really have a big question. So whose idea was it to select me for this horrible race?
listen, we asked you to come up for another Grand Prix. You could not make it, so now you chose Spain. So it was actually your decision. Thank you. Let's go. Spanish
Wait,
Grand
what
Prix.
race was he coming on for originally?
It was the Emilia Romana, Imola.
Oh, you
yeah,
should
it was
have been there.
Imola.
That was also even horrible.
Yeah,
You
that
see?
was worse.
So,
What race
that's
did we
not that
sing the
was-
Italian
oh.
anthem? What race did we sing the Italian anthem on stream?
I don't remember.
You should have been there for that.
For that one?
Yeah, you should have been there for that one.
Yeah,
That one was good.
that
Anyway.
one, that was the one.
Let's
That anthem was a nice anthem. But have you guys heard the rendition at the changeover for the Beijing Olympics where they headed over to Milan and Milpanesa? Oh, that was a beautiful rendition of the Italian anthem.
No, I
The
was in
lady
a,
was singing. Yeah.
quarantine hotel and the volume of the TV wasn't really good. So.
Oh, I'm sorry.
in the
Sorry
country
about
that it was being hosted as well.
In the country that
Anyway.
was being hosted, yeah.
Anyway, qualifying. So they did have a good start. Charles Leclerc was on pole with Max Verstappen coming in on second and Carlos Sainz coming in third. But the race did not go their way, did it? No, because it became a Red Bull 1 and 2. Max Verstappen taking the win with Checo right behind him. And a great result for Mercedes. Thrilled, absolutely chuffed. George Russell coming in at third. What happened to Ferrari?
So
Leclerc
then,
had
just
the
for
lead.
that, I'm going to turn on my bleep button.
Why? What did I do? What? No, No, but
This is
like,
why we don't
seriously,
get guests on.
You see, exactly, because no one wants to come and it's not our fault that that's how the way the race went. So please.
I
Well,
mean, it was
I'm
like
still-
that.
I'm still having PTSD from Spain.
I'm sorry. Don't worry.
sorry.
Glory days will come back to Maranello.
It will come back. It will be back. And it will be greater than what it was before.
Yeah. I
It
mean,
wasn't that bad. Sainz did come fourth. I mean, but he
He
did not
did.
have a good race either.
as
No,
a
he
Ferrari
didn't.
fan, that was a disaster. I mean, had a mechanical failure, which he had no control of. But Sainz, I mean, he had an off. To his credit, Max also had an off in the same place he did. So, I mean, you can let him off the hook for having that off, but his comeback in the race was nothing to write home about. If Lewis didn't have his issues, he would have finished behind the Mercedes, which Ferrari team principal was saying the Mercedes are still 7/10 slower. So I don't know what happened to Carlos. I don't talk about Carlos until he redeems himself.
Leclerc had an engine problem, right?
Yeah, an MGUK failure
Mhm.
caused by the heat. So
And he could
and
potentially take a penalty for Monaco because he'd have to replace the engine, possibly. I think the power unit may need to be.
no.
I was
In
hearing
Monaco,
something.
he wouldn't take the penalty even if he takes a new power unit because they allow 3. So he can take the third one.
Okay, so he's
But
fine.
I think they'll still use the first PU because the Monaco track is not power dependent. So it wouldn't be an issue. But down the line in the championship, you'll definitely have to take a penalty for that. So on the race, at the beginning, Charles had a good start. It looked like the usual battle between Max and Charles that we are going to have. Max always in Charles's mirror, but not in DRS. So it looked like we're going to have a battle on our hands. Then Max had the off. And because of that, George got into second place because he had a better start than Carlos and Perez. So Charles looked like he had the win. I mean, Max had to fight his way back. He was led through by Checo to hand George, but I mean, George just bodied him. I'm not a Mercedes fan. I like Red Bull more than Mercedes. I know some people wouldn't like me saying this, but the way George just bodied him,
He
I don't
did.
know.
And I actually want to quickly. Sorry, go ahead.
No, Max had DRS issues, so we can say DRS, but George didn't have DRS. So,
and I kind of wanted to talk about that a bit because Red Bull really, this was a race that they struggled to even get to the position that they got to. I mean, Max did not have DRS, and they had to let Perez come in to basically get the jump on I think George Russell at the time. And so like it was disastrous. And Checo got him and it was wonderful. And then Checo was forced to give the position back to Max. And I don't like that. I don't know why they felt the need to do that. Like, no, I mean, like Checo deserved it. Unfortunately, Max did not have a car that had DRS that could perform. And I feel for him. I'm sorry, but like at least let him get second, and he still gets points and he would still overtake Leclerc, rather than let Checo let Checo take the win. I mean, like it was a very strange call. I don't agree with it.
They did have to, I think, no, it was signed. Sorry, that was the Ferraris where they told them to turn the engines down. That was signed.
Yes. So initially, when Max had the off, and came behind Checo and George, right? Yeah. So Max then overtook. I think Checo was asked to move out of the way for Max to hands down George. And when Max wasn't able to do that, I think Checo asked the team to let him have a go because he's faster than both Max and George. But I think that request was denied, but they ultimately solved it by boxing Max. So it looked like Max was moved out of the way for Checo.
He wasn't
And
happy
so
about it, though.
later, no, he wasn't happy. But later in the race, when he was told about letting Max by and he pushed back, I was really surprised because I thought Checo was in there to be the number 2 and Max was always going to win. But it looks like Checo now has an ambition of his own.
As he
Wanting to-
should.
As he should.
As he should.
Yeah.
As he should. The same way
But-
that I feel like George Russell
Really
should be
should.
very happy about his performance and that he's outperforming Lewis Hamilton at the moment.
But
as
he's not.
He should. I mean, not really, but like, yeah, but like, you know, like he's at least like placing ahead of Hamilton, you know,
Yeah.
in the last few races. He's always been placing in the top 5 for the last few races. He's been very consistent. It's been amazing. As George Russell, I'm happy for him. George Russell should have that. The same way, Checo should not feel like he should be a second driver and play second fiddle all the time to Verstappen. Maybe last year was okay because
Yeah.
Perez had something to prove with them. So he can get
And
that.
also, it was his first year. He's building rapport.
Also, by the
Right,
time
exactly.
he became competitive, Max Verstappen and Hamilton were way past the battle. So, like, Perez couldn't have caught up either way.
Exactly.
No.
This
Yeah.
year,
Now that this year it's so close. I mean, like it's all over the place, all over the map. And if Checo feels like he can find a way to make an inroad in here, by all means, he should go for it. Let him become world champion. In fact, if this ends up with him becoming world champion, I would be thrilled.
Mexico would be
absolutely
too.
thrilled.
I feel like
So,
they
like,
declare a
honestly-
national holiday.
I want to agree with you on that.
In Mexico.
Yeah, but I think Red Bull did Checo dirty because he had a baby over the weekend before the race. So
Oh.
yeah, it could have been a nice gift, but ultimately, I don't think because of this, they were on different strategies. I don't think Checo would still have won. But then also Red Bull needed it because they took the lead of both championships as a result of that. So,
I think it was okay in the end. I don't think it was the biggest use of team orders that we've seen. I think
yeah, but
I
I was
think it's okay.
surprised because initially I believe that out of the 7 billion people in this world, and only 6, all the 7 billion people knew that Checo was the number 2 in Red Bull, but it turned out there was 6.999999 with the exception of one
which was
person,
Mexico.
which was Checo.
Just check.
Which was Checo. I still
Just
feel like
Checo.
Checo didn't
Mexico
know
wasn't
he
even
was the
last.
number 2.
Yeah.
I still feel like Checo didn't know he was the number 2 driver in Red Bull.
We need to start wrapping up, but I want to just also make a brief mention of something. I want to talk about McLaren really, really quick. Please don't let me lose my Australian citizenship. I beg. Do not, what I'm about to say, but I'm going to call it.
Pay us.
Ricardo is done
Pay us.
as of 2020.
Pay
2020 will
us
be his
so
last
we
season.
don't make you lose that.
I mean,
Lando is sick. Was sick. I think he's still sick, but like Lando
he's
was
still
sick.
sick. He's got, I don't know if it's tonsillitis or a really bad flu, but he managed to get his 4 points. And Daniel Ricciardo, who was, as far as we're concerned, was in a clean bill of health, did it.
He finished 50 seconds behind Lando. Not behind the leader.
I don't know what
Behind
it's.
Lando.
I don't know what's wrong with him.
But I think
I don't get it.
Lando said because he was not feeling well. He took his time, was patient, and he was taking his time, his strides, going at it in a much smoother way
Taking
than
his
normally would
time.
go. Yes, taking his time. I mean, so what was
Taking
Daniel
his
doing?
time ahead of a 2-time world champion, a two-time world champion, a 4-time world champion, and Yuki, who's adorable.
And you.
Yeah.
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 Zach made some comments over there on Monday after the race on Naomi's show on Sky, Any Driven Monday. and he
Oh,
mentioned Daniel is not meeting expectations at McLaren, and
so
there has been an
fast.
outrage.
Who
There has been
said
an
that?
outrage on Twitter.
Someone said
Zach
that. Was it
Brown.
Zach Brown? Yeah. McLaren's
Yeah.
boss said that Daniel Ricciardo was not meeting
Yeah.
expectations. That is not something you say to your drivers publicly. That is not something you say
That's
publicly.
not what you say.
No.
Why
That is
would you
the
say that
truth.
publicly?
But it's the truth.
That's
I
not-
think he's trying to get under his skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he only has 1 year left, and I think that might affect his contract conversations.
Oh
I
yeah.
think he could get a renewal for 2023.
Yeah, he already has a
He
contract for
He has it,
2023.
right. So I think he's fine. But I think
it might be his last.
Because Pato Award, the one driver who could replace him, who's in IndyCar right now, has recently signed a contract until 2025 or 2026. And so either McLaren's going to drop Ricciardo and bring in Oscar Piastri, which they might, but their relationship with Renault is not that good. And since Piastri is a Renault Alpine driver, so
well,
it's unlikely.
Magnussen has taught us having a contract elsewhere doesn't really guarantee that you wouldn't come into F1.
true.
yeah.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
You get a
They
call
can
up
just
to
be like,
Formula
"Hey."
One and you don't leave IndyCar. Come on. Because it's
I
like
know.
McLaren Formula One is the main department, isn't it? So it's like IndyCar is the
Yeah.
much smaller division. So yeah, they
Oh,
could.
by the way,
Yeah.
there's
But then at the
there's-
same time.
there's Indy 500 this weekend.
There's
Oh,
true. There's
yes!
IndyCar 500.
I saw
this
the
weekend.
qualifying for Patrick Ward. He barely missed out on the fastest six, but
Yeah.
he seemed to have a very good day. He's like, oh yeah, you're in a good position, and he's doing a really good job in IndyCar. I think Patrick Ward is, like, I hate to say it, and I'm sorry to Oscar Piastri, but looking at things where they stand right now, Patrick Ward is the front runner for that McLaren seat if it becomes vacant.
Well,
Definitely.
there's this other, is it Colton?
Colton Herrera.
Yeah,
Yeah,
his name has
Colton
also
Herrera.
been thrown around a lot.
His name was, he was at, was it him or was it, I can't say his name, the other one. It was
Pato
one of them
Ward?
at Miami. Yeah.
I think it's
I think it was
Colton Herrera.
Colton.
That was at,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was at Miami.
And he was quoted saying that like he's itching to get into that McLaren car, which is scary for Ricciardo because
Colton
Hey,
and
did you see
Patrick
that
was
funny
also
commercial they
bad.
did?
which one?
Colton said, "I'm coming for your seats." They were driving some McLarens and they had to swap seats, and he was like, "I'm coming."
Oh shit! Oh
Shit.
shit!
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
And you know what's funny?
You don't do that to him. He's a honey badger. Do you know what those things do? Anyway, I digress.
Like-
Guys, we need to wrap up.
And you felt the need to comment on him when you live in Australia?
Listen. Yes, I know.
I think that's why she wants to wrap up.
I want to wrap up. I want to wrap up before the Australian Immigration Services see the show and decide to call me in for an interview to question my Australianness.
At least we get new fans.
No,
Not
you
yet.
just-
If anyone with another country that can give me citizenship, please write into us at boxboxgoss@gmail.com.
you just walk into the immigration office and you go,
Yes, I should go. Fuck they like all
I
those
didn't
things.
have the
Oh gosh, no. I can't get it on time. Anyway, guys, final thoughts. Let's start with Asaya, actually.
I was wrong about Spain.
We apologize.
Like,
We all were.
it was a mess. Like, you got Lando Norris doing amazing with with being sick, and I hope that he has made some form of recovery for Monaco. You got Lewis Hamilton and George Russell. They're starting to do better now. Like, that race was literally Charles Leclerc's to lose. And he lost it because of an engine failure, which sucks. And then at the same time, like, you got Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez, and they were, like, there was so much drama to take into account. It's amazing, really. So, sorry, Spain, you're wrong. Let's talk. I want you back. Please.
Okay, you go and talk to Spain at your own time, please. Stella, continue.
We didn't talk about this a lot, but damn, it was amazing seeing Hamilton making his way up the grid. Because I'm not a Hamilton fan.
I didn't see that.
But I remember. Oh yeah, they didn't show it. I don't know what's up with Formula One's like media team who controls the cams and stuff, but I think they need to train themselves. But it's like, it was better than Miami, kinda. But it's like,
they should make you head of TV production.
A little bit.
You know, I remember.
If you'd like to make some head of TV production.
Yes, if you'd get in touch, gd.cellmurmurs@gmail.com. This is the second time I've advertised myself.
Shoot your shot, Selam. Shoot your shot.
I promise I will not mute your cameras on purpose. Oh, we didn't even talk about drone cam.
That was
It's
shit.
good we didn't. It's good we didn't.
Horrendous.
It's good we
Okay.
didn't.
No, it's good that we did it. Please continue. We don't want to. We mentioned it in our stories. We don't want to. No, we don't want to talk about it.
Okay. And so it was amazing seeing Hamilton making his way up the grid again. Like Turkey 2020 vibes right there. And I think it's good to have him back. I hope we see more of him throughout. Monaco, not so much. I don't know how fast their one lap pace is, but like I hope to see Hamilton really going for it against Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez, Carlos Sainz. This could be really, really good. This could be a lot of fun. Still don't have Turkey though, so
We're sad. We are very sad. Bring back the Turkish Grand Prix. I'm gonna go next because I want our guest to go last. So I'm with the say. I was really surprised at how entertaining the Spanish Grand Prix was. And I was going to mention Lewis actually in my final thoughts. I am so proud of you. You did great. Even though you thought that you didn't think the engine was going to last, Chalet, you made it work and you came in the clutch. You always do that though, but you made it work. You're fond of that.
what is it with us talking about tracks and drivers like there are exes? What is up with that?
I don't know.
I would like to point out that was not my intention when I was saying that, but yes, that did sound a lot like that.
Well, that's the feeling I'm getting here from you guys. So
listen, this will be your last. No, I'm kidding. No, but it was a very entertaining race. No, it was a very entertaining race. I really did enjoy Spain. Monaco is going to be a procession. I do not expect any Mercedes magic coming out of it. British Grand Prix is going to be wild. It is going to be so like 6 cars with contention battling it out.
I'm excited for Baku as well.
Baku's
Me
gonna be
too.
great.
And Fishika is also really excited for Baku as well. It's going to be so much fun. Kofi, take us home.
well, from the race perspective, like you've seen, Spanish Grand Prix tend to be snooze fest, but this time it was exciting. Yeah, the battle at the front, the battle from the back, the battle in the middle, battles everywhere except the drone cams. Yeah, but I feel like Ferrari has let me down. They look like the team to beat, but now they are the team to catch up. It looked like their reliability was bulletproof, but some issues are beginning to show their heads midway through the season. But I'm sure they can get on top of it. The new rules have made racing exciting this year on tracks we didn't think would be interesting. and you are here seeing Ase and the likes apologizing to, to the tracks. So we know the rules are working.
Yes.
One last thing, I want to comment on F1 and Lewis Hamilton. I'm not a Lewis fan. I like Lewis, but I'm not his fan. I'm not a fan of Lewis. But I still don't get the idea why, let's say the 7 world time champion is now 19, making his way through the field with a car we all know is not the best this year. So at least we should have got some action from that. Like Selim was talking about, we should have got some action from that. Well, they were concentrating on the front. The battle at the front wasn't so intriguing, like going through 14 or 13 people to get to the position he got to. I think the only one we saw was his overtake on Carlos Sainz, which was almost done before the show. Yeah, I hope Formula One listens to us and do what the fans like for once.
Aha!
Please.
What a good call.
Yes. So I hope we all look
Excellent.
forward to the Monaco Grand Prix where Charles is winning. I'm not the host of the show, but I know Seden wants to run away. But what are your predictions, guys?
I'm hoping that Charles comes in with a win. I'm hoping it's a Ferrari one too. I hope Perez does not enter into the harbor.
I'll send you a signed shirt from the winner.
Do you guys want to go?
I think
Oh,
we're going to get to witness Ferrari's newest engine technology, water propulsion, this weekend.
Oh!
And I wish Charles Leclerc best of luck in the swimming pool section.
Wow. Thank you.
I do hope he wins, though. So.
Yeah.
Say you want to go with
go
Monaco?
with Monaco. There will be a process.
Or do you want to close?
Oh, then what am I coming to say? Qualifying is gonna be hot. It's gonna be everything. There's gonna be a lot of stuff. The race, for race, we should consider getting pillows.
Who knows this year, though? Who knows?
That's
Like,
true. We thought Spain was going to be boring.
We thought Spain was going to be boring. The thing is that the cars are heavier this time around. The track is narrow. Like I really am hoping that the new regulations work its magic.
Oh, I say you're paused.
Oh, no.
I'm paused?
Yeah.
No, you're back. You're back.
Okay,
You're
yeah,
back.
now you're good.
Okay. So no, I'm saying that, look, I want, even with Monaco and the way it's been this year, in the years, I wanted to see it stay. For the exception of Formula One. However, I don't know if we're going to get something interesting, but I am rooting for the fact that someone's going into the pool and it's going to be a car and we're going to laugh. Like loud laughter.
Not hopefully too much laughter. They should be safe, but yeah, the pool.
Hey,
Anyway,
Red Bull, those round things on the car are called tires. Let's not forget them this time around.
Anyway, Kofi, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
This
Where
guy.
would you like to be found? Yeah.
Yeah, on Twitter at Kofi Rango and on Instagram, same Kofi Rango. So you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Yeah, I tend to find a lot of funny stuff on Twitter. So yeah, related to Formula One. So yeah.
Which we end up retweeting also on our platform as well. So it's great. But thank you so much, Kofi, for being on the show. We've loved having you and all your quirks and expertise on all things Ferrari.
We'd love to
thanks
have
so
you
much
back
for joining.
sometime.
Yes.
Yeah,
Definitely
especially
at a
for
time
a
when-
race when Ferrari wins.
Don't worry,
That's
we
true.
will
try
sing
and be
the
oracles
Italian
and
anthem once
plan
more.
ahead,
Yes.
We will
Yeah,
sing the
yeah.
Italian anthem once more.
which I don't remember anyway.
Dun,
Anyway, and
dun,
we will
dun,
see
dun.
you actually in 1 week for the Monaco Grand Prix. It's gonna be fun. There's probably gonna be champagne.
Also-
We're gonna have a great time.
Spain, if you'd like to take a say back, you can call her at +1 900 700.
Yeah, please call. Yeah, please. She's waiting.
She will be
for us.
waiting.
Or you can find out, or you can find out, or you can write to me back with the email boxboxgoss@gmail.com.
Exactly. And also one more thing, please, if you like what we do, please like this video. If you want to hear more from us, please subscribe. I realize now that we're on YouTube, I have to be asking of this now. So please do that. But we will see you in a week for the Monaco Grand Prix. We'll be back. Bye, Box.
Yeah.
Bye, Piku.
Bye.
Guys, that was good.